In this video, I'm going to be making butterscotch coconut bourbon blondies. For this recipe, you need 2 sticks of melted butter, 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1/3 to 1/2 cup of bourbon whiskey. I'm using 1/2 cup, and this is just the Evan Williams Kentucky bourbon. You need a pinch of salt, 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of butterscotch chips, and I'm just using, it took the whole bag basically. I mean, there's a little bit more than 1.5 cups, but I use the whole bag. And then you need 3/4 cups of coconut flakes. This is sweetened coconut. So the first thing you want to do is, with a mixer, you want to beat the melted butter and brown sugar together. We're going to add the eggs and beat again. Now we want to add in the vanilla and the bourbon. Now it just said a pinch of salt. I'm just gonna, there you go, there's your salt. And now you need to add in the flour. So I scraped my bowl down, and now we're gonna add the last 2 ingredients. We're gonna add our coconut and our chips and just mix those until they're combined. Preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and this is a 9 by 13 inch pan. You can either grease the pan or you can use parchment paper. I'm using parchment paper so that they will come out clean. So you want to pour this whole mixture into the pan and spread it out to where it's even. And then these are gonna bake anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes. But you want to be careful that you don't overbake them because you want them to be ooey gooey. And so I'm going to bake mine for 32 minutes and then I'll check on them. You want a toothpick to come out clean, but you don't want them to be dry either. So I'm going to spread this out and then remove my clips. And then when we come back, I'll let you know the total time that these baked for. These baked for exactly 32 minutes. And it looks like they've got a little brown around the edges, just slightly. But I'm going to let them sit here and cool for a little bit before I cut them. I have allowed these to cool a little bit. And now I'm going to cut them. These are blondies, so you want to cut them just like you would brownies or anything else. Okay, unfortunately, I have failed you all this time because I cannot give you the website where I found these. And I've looked high and low. I have searched
the history.
My history. I don't know where I got this recipe. So I will, below this video in the description, I'm going to type out the recipe, and that way you all can copy and paste it in a Word document if you want. I apologize. I even tried to, in quotes, search for some of these keywords in Google. Nothing comes up. Because this person wrote, this recipe is adapted barely from www.smittenkitchen.com, and it can be adapted in so many ways. In fact, I added a few tablespoons of peanut butter to this recipe just because. You could add to and take out any of the extra treats. Would be great with chocolate chips, nuts, dried cranberries or cherries, different booze, etc. If you take out the booze, also remove 2 tablespoons of flour. So, I wish I could tell you where I got the...
But the original recipe is from...
smittenkitchen.com, yeah, is where they got their recipe from, I guess. So...
It's actually buttery on the
plate. Listen. Oh, it's... Yes. Well, it kind of looks like butter, but it kind of looks like those butterscotch chips is what it looks like, too.
A thick bar.
Mm-hmm. And these smell wonderful. Mm-hmm. They really do. And you can still smell the bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you taste the bourbon.
It's not very strong.
It's not like that strong, but you definitely taste it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like the little edge pieces. I got some of the edge. Took a bite out of the center. They are very chewy.
I've never had anything quite like this.
Mm-hmm. It's different. The butterscotch, the coconut, and the booze.
Yes.
All mixed differently.
Yeah, I've never had that combination before. I do not like wet bread. Do not like wet bread at all. This is wet without being mushy, without being soggy. Yes, soggy is a great word. It's wet. It is wet though. I mean, it's
yeah, it's definitely not a dry bar.
No.
It's really good. I like the butterscotch. The butterscotch and the bourbon go really well together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you normally put Vaseline on your lips, you don't need to.
It's got butter in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the edges.
Because it is so wet.
The edges are good and crispy.
Oh, let me have an edge.
I like the edge.
Mmm. Mm-hmm.
A little crunchier.
That is so nice. You know what, though? Honestly, the coconut does not stand out to me.
No, coconut's not a flavor I really get a lot of. I mean, a little bit. But it's not like ooh, that's coconut.
Mm-mm.
I do taste it a little bit.
It doesn't even add a lot of texture. I mean, I'm sure it makes a difference in the texture, but normally you would be able to get like the shreds, the pieces of coconut, and really it's not like that stands out to me. Mm-hmm. Not like in other cookies, like a coconut cookie.
Well, I like it. I ate it all.
But I do too. It's wonderful.
You could bake it just a little bit longer if you wanted it to be a little thicker, I think, or a little drier. But I don't know that it would ever truly dry out. Do you?
No. I can't imagine that getting dry. And one more thing I want to comment on. This person suggested that you pour this into a greased 9 by 13 inch pan. If you grease your pan,
it's gonna be too greasy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't even imagine.
Because I used to do that with like hash brown casserole, and I quit doing it because it was greasy on the outside because it had enough grease in it. You didn't need to do it.
No,
this is the same way. You don't really need to do it. It generates its own.
If you have parchment paper, I highly recommend you use parchment paper.
Even aluminum foil will probably be okay. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if it would stick. I don't know. I don't know about that. The parchment paper,
for sure.
For sure. I would not grease the pan, but these are absolutely terrific. Mm-hmm. I don't think the bourbon's too heavy, but you can taste it.
You know it's there.
I love the sweetness that the butterscotch adds, and I'm sure the coconut is helping it to stay together. Mm-hmm. But it's wonderful.
It's very, very good.
I would totally make them again.
Yeah. And if you don't have parchment paper in your baking cabinet, you should. because
you just need to start buying it.
We didn't used to use parchment paper for anything, and we started using it. It's like now we use it for everything.
3 things: Reynolds wrap, or aluminum foil, plastic wrap, and parchment paper. You should have those 3 things. When I was growing up, it was wax paper.
Can't bake with wax paper.
You can't bake with wax paper. If you buy parchment paper, you don't need to buy wax paper anymore. Because anything that you would have used that wax paper for, like laying it out to put drop cookies on or something, you can use parchment paper instead. So for me, wax paper is not something that I ever use anymore. No. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry about the whoever wrote this recipe, but clearly Smitten Kitchen had the original recipe, but I will put all the directions down below. And the thing is, it's easy, so it won't take me too long at all to do. But if you've had these before, you can let us know. And thanks for watching.